What's going on, sports fans? Once again, it's K-Stu the GOAT for Burning Speak Sports. We're mostly talking about Auburn football. I want to give a special War Eagle to my fearless and true gang. Like, comment, and subscribe to the page. We're trying to grow this thing. Recruiting is really getting down to that nitty-gritty, baby. We still have George Pickens on the bubble. Now, George Pickens is a hard commit. Verbally committed to Auburn back in 2017. He has been pretty much a mainstay recruiting-wise, but he still has yet to sign. We really need George Pickens to sign so we can solidify this recruiting class, for this particular season. And see, George Pickens is one that's really going to take this recruiting class over the top. He's a hard commit, being heavily recruited by Cody Burns and Rodney Garnell. But at the same time, he still has yet to commit. Now, when you look at the chronology of George Pickens, he committed to Auburn a little while ago, okay? And he's received offers from several schools. He committed back in June of 2017. He's been on some unofficial visits to Auburn several times before any other schools really started to get him to visit their campus. But as of late, like I said before, George Pickens still has not signed. He's been offered from LSU, Michigan, Florida. He took a visit down to Florida. Florida State has actually offered George Pickens. So there's a lot of schools that are really looking at George Pickens that could really turn this into a very monumental flip if they're able to snatch George Pickens away from Auburn. This would actually be synonymous to Alabama picking up Reuben Foster. And we all know how Reuben Foster turned out. Man, Reuben Foster had an Auburn tattoo on his arm, all but seeming like he was coming to Auburn, but he flipped to Alabama and turned out to be one of the better linebackers in Alabama history. I mean, it's getting real crunch time for this because, he's still, as of January the 18th, he's still visiting other schools. Actually took a visit to Miami just as recent as January the 25th. Looks like George Pickens is really going to stretch this thing all the way to the signing day. Why do we need George Pickens? Well, first of all, we need a replacement for Ryan Davis. He and Ryan Davis, are kind of similar wide receivers. He's a little bit taller though, than Ryan Davis, but he has such a skill set that Auburn desperately needs to solidify themselves in this recruiting class. And Auburn is already, like I said, has some talented players in their recruiting class, but this will more than solidify this thing. Man, what in the world is George Pickens waiting on? It looks like he's going to have a dramatic finish, and it's going to take this thing all the way to signing day. Auburn definitely needs George Pickens to sign on the dotted line and stop playing and go ahead and commit to the Auburn Tigers. I don't know what he's waiting on. He's got some great teams that are looking at him, especially Alabama. I think they're really gonna take this thing all the way to the wire with George Pickens, as he's one of the best wide receivers in the country. I'm gonna keep this thing real short. Y'all know what it is with George Pickens, and y'all know that Auburn really desperately needs this young man to solidify that wide receiver position, because we gotta replace Ryan Davis and we gotta replace Darius Slayton. And I think George Pickens would be a home run pick for Auburn. He's been committed for almost 2 years now. And man, what a dramatic finish it would be if he flips at the last minute. Once again, it's K-Stu the GOAT for Burning Speak Sports. Mostly talking about Auburn football. I want to give a huge shout out to my fearless and true gang. Man, y'all better keep y'all's fingers crossed, because George Pickens needs to come to Auburn. Like, comments, and subscribe. You all have a good one. And I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there. As far as probability goes, most of the recruiting circuit says that he's all but 100% coming to Auburn. But man, he has not signed the paperwork yet. You all take it easy, and War Eagle.